So in this video, I'm going to be going over clauses and conjunctions. So a clause is a group of words, and it can be dependent or independent. Dependent clauses cannot stand alone as a full sentence because they are missing either a subject or a verb, or it does not express a full thought. An independent clause has a subject and verb, expresses a full thought, and so an independent clause could stand alone as a full sentence. Conjunctions are a part of speech, and they join clauses together or they introduce clauses. And we'll get into the specific type of conjunction that introduces clauses in this video. So we've got a clause and our conjunction joining with another clause. And our conjunctions are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. We use the acronym FANBOYS to remember these common conjunctions. Now, as I mentioned, there are certain types of conjunctions that introduce clauses. And so these are called subordinating conjunctions. And these are if, since, as, when, although, while, after, before, until, and because. So if we put any of these words in front of a subject and verb, an independent clause, it makes it dependent. And I'll show you an example of that in just a second. So here are some examples of the subordinating conjunction being joined with an independent clause. And so if the shirt is on sale, so the shirt is on sale is an independent clause, but when we put that subordinating conjunction in front of it, it makes it a dependent clause, and so it acts like a dependent clause. We don't need a comma and a conjunction to join these two. We don't need a semicolon. We just need a comma because this is acting like a dependent clause. Similarly, we've got since it is her birthday. It is her birthday is an independent clause, but if we put since in front of it, it makes it a dependent clause, since it is her birthday. It does not express a full idea. And so we don't need a comma and a conjunction to join these independent clauses because there's a subordinating conjunction. We just need a comma. So when we are joining phrases or clauses with conjunctions, here are some examples. So here, he prepared the steak is an independent clause. And is our conjunction, and sliced potatoes is our dependent clause. So we can see if we have an independent clause and a dependent clause, we join that together with a conjunction. Here we have a dependent clause, if she is late, and then a comma joins it with an independent clause, she will be in trouble. And an independent clause, he worked very hard. We can join that with another independent clause two ways. One of them is to use a comma and a conjunction. The other way is to use a semicolon. So when we are joining independent clauses or two clauses that could be full sentences, we can use either a comma and a conjunction, or we can put them together with a semicolon. So a semicolon just joins together two full ideas, two full sentences. So this page just kind of reviews all of the information that I just went over. Some definitions. The dependent clauses are groups of words that cannot be a full sentence. They are missing either a subject or a verb, or they do not express a full thought. So they might have a subordinating conjunction that would make it dependent. Independent clauses are groups of words that can be a full sentence. It has both a subject and a verb, and it expresses a full thought. A conjunction joins together clauses or introduces clauses in the case of subordinating conjunctions. And so subordinating conjunctions, they're the type of conjunction that introduces a clause, and it usually makes a clause into a dependent clause or not a full idea. Some rules. When joining a dependent clause and an independent clause, you need a comma. When you combine an independent clause and a dependent clause, you can do that with either a comma or a conjunction. You don't need both. When you're combining two independent clauses, you need either both a comma and a conjunction, or you could just use a semicolon. Both of those are correct ways to join two independent clauses. So now you're going to go on to complete the Google form on clauses and conjunctions. I would suggest opening up the slides presentation that I just went through. I linked that in first thing on your Google form. And I'd suggest using split screen to see both windows at once so you can easily complete your Google form. If you have any questions, leave a private comment, email me, or come to my office hours, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 3:15 to 4.